guys, and welcome back to MSC F1 Fanatec Clubsport Series Season 7. We're coming to you live from the legendary Suzuka Circuit in Japan, where precision, bravery and pure racing passion come together on one of the most iconic tracks in Formula 1 history. Last time out in Bahrain, Ferrari's Regent took a dominant victory to open his campaign, but the chase is on. Sponge in the Racing Bulls and Schalke Bezuidenhout for Mercedes are right behind, ready to fight for glory here under the Japanese skies. Sauber lead the constructor standings with consistency and teamwork, while McLaren, Aston Martin and Red Bull are all within striking distance. Every point matters and every corner counts. So buckle up, because tonight the battle continues. Will Regent extend his lead? Will Sponge strike back? Or will we see a brand new winner rise here in Japan? Ladies and gentlemen, this is round 2 of the MSC F1 Fanatec Clubsport Series, and it's time for full qualifying. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to qualifying 1, the start of qualifying, and for some drivers, possibly the end. 20 cars on track, 1 goal. Don't get knocked out early. I'll do a couple of sound checks before I'm fully with you guys. Okay, so I believe that TTV F7R Formulary is gonna be the first man on track to set a lap time. So let's stay with him for the moment, the man in Alpine. Beautiful taking there. So we're heading to the last turn, on to the straight. Comes TT Formula. That's the fastest lap time with a 1:29.538 for now, but there comes Alfie. Alfie in the McLaren with a 1:29.130. Great lap from Alfie there. What's that to it? On an out lap, then we got on Hayes. Hayes coming after now is on P4. Jabba in the Hayes on P4 with 1:31.25. Formula Smokey in the Williams to a P5 with 1:32.8. As there comes Carlos Sainz. Jump to a P5, but is up back up to a P6 with 1:39.16. And I believe that was Advir or Phoenix James in the McLaren that jumped to a P3 spot. No, it was Advir. That was Advir. And there comes Ali. 1:28.788. Almost half a second clear of the P2 runner. Who is coming up next? That's the Kick Sauber of Letsk. Letsk coming across the line, goes to a P1 with a 128.376. Great lap from Letsk. Formula Smokey is 4 seconds below his time and goes to a P1 with a 127.980. The times getting changed by half seconds here in qualifying 1. That's going away some drivers into the pit lane as they have set it their first lap stint. Kick Sauber Testman is going now for an out lap. Let's see what QBVI in the black Mercedes can do here in qualifying 1. Currently on a P14. Will not set a lap time. Slow too much down in that sector 2. Did not see that, I do apologize. Geez, I need to get used to the system again. Long time no use. Red Bull, that was Adveer. No, that wasn't Adveer. Who was that? Coming across the line there. There you got him. Jabba. Is he gonna improve? Jabba currently on a P12 in the haze. Here comes Jabba. Improves 1 place up. From a P12 to a P11 for Jabba. And there comes a Kick Sauber. Tasman. With a 131.5. The man who had teammate of MSC F1 Cinders. Currently out for a hot lap. And he goes into turn 11. Heading to turn 12. Turn 13 and 14. Also called the spoon curve. You can see down below on your screen that his battery is getting empty as he sets as fast as sector 2. Let's see what a man in red currently on P19 can do. Here comes FR772948 across the line goes he, and he sets a P1 with a 127.911. Great lap from the man in the Ferrari. We are still waiting on Beaton, who is waiting in the pit box. Cam McKenzie jumped to 128.231. Cinders, teammate from the man we just saw on P1. 8 minutes on the clock in qualifying 1. Ooh, big lock up from MSC F1 Cinders. And he needs to go for another round. Jake Delac. Currently too high in time already to set a proper lap. Not gonna happen this lap. Needs to go also for another lap. And it's James, 2:10s below his time now. They're gonna put him above the mirror if he will manage to nail this last corner. And what is he gonna do? No! Sector 3 was not how he wanted to be. MSC F1 cylinders. Second run, can he do something? I think he's not busy with hot lap as he's not using his battery, so we're gonna need to wait another round. Jake Ladd coming out of the last turn, heading to the straight finish line, and there comes Jake Ladd, goes to a P7 in the Williams with a 1:20.040. Then we got Carlos Sainz, 9.5 tenths below his best personal time. Then it's going into the pit. Carlos Sainz going into the pit lane. Not sure where he did the invalidation of that lap, as you can see that the circuit is red right in your screen. TDR Formula. The first man on track was for a couple of minutes that P1 sitter. Now he's on P12 and he goes into the pits. Jake Ladd will go as well into the pits. And then we got the Hayes, the Jabba currently on P14 with a 1:29.691. He's beginning his hot lap. Let's see what the sector times right on top of your screen are gonna do. Let's go on board with Jabba and watch how he is taking the apex. Short moment there from Jabba. And we got yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Ali and Formula Smoky left the session. I think that their time is going to be enough to continue to qualifying 2. I'm pretty sure. So Jabba, what can Jabba do? Can he come from loose from the top inside the top 10? Coming out of the last turn, across the finish line goes Jabba and goes to a P11 with a 1:29.227. One place out of the top 10. Was my prediction almost good? As we are watching the last 5 drivers off the field. And there goes Beaton to a P10 with a 129.169. Currently on risk to not continue to qualifying 2 are MSC F1 Cinders, Desmond, Opvi, Carlos Sainz, and Exam James. And Mir is on the border of being eliminated. So we need to stay with Damir and see what he can do in his hot lap that he is currently doing. Burning that battery down. Goes Damir. Into the Casio triangle. There goes Damir, the man in the Aston Martin. Coming out of last corner, across the finish line goes Damir. And Damir goes to a P6 with a 128.917. What a great lap from Damir. And makes himself clear to not be eliminated in Q1 today. One minute and 50 seconds on the clock left. Are any of those last 5 drivers able to do something? Something similar like Damir just did. Tasman didn't validate it. So I believe we are now getting first Opvi. Opvi is high below above his time, so not gonna do it this lap. Oh, and there goes MSC from Cinders. Cinders into the wall. I hope he doesn't have wing damage, because then it's game over for Cinders. And I believe that is game over for Cinders. Manages to get back on the track, Cinders, but here he goes again. Ooh, Cinders. So to the Formula 7 tenths below his time. That is gonna put him to a P11. P11, P5. Great lap from TT7R Formula E. 128.587 and sets himself on P5. Great work also from the 2 Aston Martins, P6 and P7. That's looking promising for qualifying 2 and qualifying 3. Oh, and Schalk is into the gravel. Schalk is into the gravel. Destroys with that his last chance to continue to qualifying 2. So Schalk is out, MSC F1 Cinders is out. Now it's about Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz is also not doing the lap anymore. Opvi not gonna make it. Too high in his lap time now. So I think Jabba is a very lucky man today here in Japan. As non-driver behind him will improve anymore. Jabba will continue to qualifying 2 here at MSC F1 today. So 2 Aston Martins on P7 and P8, 2 Red Bulls on P9 and P10. Williams on P2 and P4. So if this stands, and this will continue to qualifying 2 and qualifying 3, promises to be an exciting race today for the Constructors' Championship. So as we are waiting, while Jabba is getting pulled into the pit box. We have reached the end today of qualifying 1. When we say goodbye to Tasman, QBVI in the Mercedes, MSC F1 Sinners in the Ferrari. Now the pressure is on ever on P1 currently. So where we were. MSC F1 Sinners in the Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, Cesar Cash, App Racing Bulls, and the Schalke, the African in the Mercedes. We will not see back in qualifying 2. Then we head further down the line. Jabba on P15 in the Hayes, NXC James and Alfie, both the McLaren drivers on P14, P13, Zatu the 1997 and the Alpine on P12, Wellsponge on P11 and Adveer on P10. And now it's waiting on the first drivers. To set their first lap time in qualifying 2. Make maybe minor changes to the wing settings. And there it comes. Alpine is as first, and that is then Zatu. There comes McLaren. Ooh, and now it's gonna be busy. Currently following TT F7R Formulary in the Alpine on P11. Looking at the back of NXM James in the McLaren. So we are heading back to, I do apologize, that was Alfie, and Alfie's going wide into the gravel. Can he save it? And no, he goes into the wall, and that's a wing end plate, and even more gone I think on his front wing. He will not be able to set a lap time, so we need to go straight back into the pit lane, into the pits. That would have been something if that would have happened the last 2 minutes. What can the two Aston Martins do today? Looked very similar pace. Very close to each other. As Amir is still into the pits. So we are waiting for the first man to start his hot lap, and that is gonna be a Formulary on P11 in the Alpine. So let's stay with him for the moment and see how he is taking the apex in the corners. Looks good so far. Heading to the hairpin, turn 10 and 11. Oh, touched the grass there. Seems like he has a bit of lag there. Lucky he's able to keep it on track, but terribly watching this. So Formulary P11, what can he do? Into the KZO triangle. Turn 18, on to the straight. Cross the finish line, goes Formula E and sets it for now on a P1 with a 129.780. Set it on a set of mediums as there comes Ale Ale on a set of softs with a 129.479. It takes that P1 spot away. Z2 follows with a 129.354. Currently on P1. Formula Smokey, great lap from Formula Smokey, 128.118. As we are watching, the Red Bull is gonna come next. And that's Adveer. Adveer coming out of turn 18. Across the finish line goes Adveer, and Adveer up to a P2 with a 128.181. Very close to Formula Smokey. Cam McKenzie did invalidate this lap. Needs to go for another round. Litz sets a purple sector 2. What can do Litz? See everybody on which tire they currently are. Ooh, Litz goes back into the pits. Beaten, invalidated as well. Demir busy with an out lap. Cam McKenzie also invalidated. Jeppa still in the pits. FR on P3. P1 sitting in qualifying 1. That set his lap on a set of mediums. So expect that he can still catch up there. So Demir was following. Demir still busy with an out lap. Cam McKenzie starting another one. No, he's going back into the pits. Probably took 2 less fuel to do another one. Alfie and McLaren. Currently out on a set of mediums. Sets the purple sector 1. Getting into the hairpin. Going on to turn 12 and you hit a wheel spin there. I'm fast turning the camera back to the Ferrari. There is going a Red Bull. Well sponged. No, he's still in an out lap. So back to the McLaren. Alfie. Coming out of turn 18, across the finish line goes Alfie in the McLaren. And goes to a P5 with a 129.343. Damir, where can he come? Ali his teammate on P7 currently. Damir goes to a P4 with a 128.482. Great lap from Damir, the man in the green. The man in the Aston Martin on P4. Beaten. Invalidated this last lap. But this one seems to go okay. Beaten in the Red Bull. Across the finish line goes Beaten and goes to a P6 with a 129.256. The top 3 not even split by 2/10 of a second. So it promises to be a very exciting qualifying 3 here in MSC F1 round 2 today. As we looking to Jabba in qualifying 2. Went to a P11, close to the top 10 spot. but had not exactly enough to do so. So can he do miracles now in qualifying 2? Who knows? You're about to find out. I guess he gets there a bit of a tow from Cam McKenzie. Purple sector 2. Watch him coming. Jabba, the man in the haze. On board. Ooh, little twist on the wheels there. There goes Jabba. Across the finish line goes Jabba. Jabba goes to a P6 with a 129.061. And now Cam McKenzie is hoping Jabba will return the favor. Oh no, he let him already go. And James. Well Sponge. Well Sponge went also to a P5 for 128.7. Totally missed that. And James, is he improving? No, he is not. He's 5 seconds above his lap time. So we are heading to Hayes. Cam McKenzie is busy with an old lap. 5 minutes on the clock. 5 minutes left in qualifying 2. There comes Cam McKenzie. Not sure if that sector 2 purple is showing me correct, because it's showing almost with every driver now. But we'll see. Cam McKenzie coming out of going into turn 18 now, coming out of turn 18. Across the finish line goes Cam McKenzie and goes to a P1, 128.072. Cam McKenzie. And we were talking about that toe in the beginning of his lap, but he doesn't even need it. FR77, I believe 1 or 2 tenths below his time now. Still wants to improve even though he's already on P4. And he goes to a P1, 127.977, and look how close those times are now. The top 4 with Advia now. Beaton didn't validate it. Cam McKenzie will go into the pits. Jake Delat on an out lap, going into his hot lap now, so let's stay with Jake Delat. Currently on P10. If he has enough fuel, he can go for 2 rounds. If not, he has only this lap to improve. So lots of pressures on Jake Delat, the man in the blue, in the Williams. There we go, into the hairpin, turn 10, turn 11, touch a bit the grass there, you see it directly, lose there completely the traction. Jake Delat messed up already his first lap by touching the grass with his right front wheel. 3/10 below his time now. We'll put him to a P9, so that's gonna be enough for P10. But we, of course, don't know what drivers in the back gonna do. If they are gonna improve now, you can see P9 now for Jake the Lad, but if they're gonna improve now, which will most likely happen, I think Jake the Lad is for sure in the danger zone. Now Nick James does not make it. P11. And Nick James is out. Beaten. Two tenths below his lap time. Gonna be close. Gonna be real close. Beaten. The man in the Ferrari on P12. Coming into the hairpin. 10, 10. Turn 11. Heading towards turn 12. 13 and 14. Better known as the spoon curve. Beautiful taking there from Beaton. Here he goes. Long straight. Most drivers can go full throttle here. I know before with the F1 games you need to do a little lifting there. But here we go into the case here. Triangle. Turn 16, 17 and 18. Coming out of turn 18 goes Beaton. Beaton from a P13 goes to a P11. No, Beaton will not make it. Beaton is out of qualifying 2. Jabba is out of qualifying 2. And James is out of qualifying 2. Ali, the last man. That can make a change. Ali, teammate of Demir. Demir is through. Demir continues to qualifying 3. What can his teammate do? Ali. 4 tenths below his lap time. Not gonna be enough. That's gonna be P12 for Ali. Could he do something here in sector 3? Across the line goes Ali. Oh, he goes to P10. 128.679. Ali makes it. Jabba, no, Jabba not. Jabba's out. Ali continues to qualifying 3 with his teammate Damir. So we say goodbye to Wells Points, Jake the Lad, Beaton, Jabba, NXM, James. The man in the orange McLaren on P15. So one Red Bull is out. I'm pretty sure that in the pit box of the Aston Martin crew, they're gonna be very happy about that. Double points for this race. Only 2 drivers from the team that are still inside qualifying 3. That are Z2 and Formula E. P8, P9 in the Alpine. So this is it then, the 10 fastest drivers, one final chance. Welcome to qualifying 3. Everything builds up to this moment. 12 minutes, 1 pole position. It's time to find out who's the fastest driver on the grid today. Driver first going out is a man in red, the Ferrari of FR77. We saw great laps from this man in qualifying 1 and qualifying 2. What I can remember on a set of mediums in the top 3, if I'm correct. There he goes, heading into turn 13, 14. Warming up those tires. Heating up those brakes. Tire degrees on optimum, and here he goes. Qualifying 3 has officially begun by FR77 in the Ferrari. Heading into turn 1. The Dunlop curve. Oh, and he goes. FR77 pushes that car too much. And he is onto the grass. FR77 is round. Ooh, is that a safe trick that he's going? And there goes an Aston Martin. Ali also good into the gravel, not far behind. FR77. What is happening here in the first stint of qualifying 3? Demir came through safely. Starting his hot lap now, but Cam McKenzie is going to be first. No, that's going to be an Alpine. The Alpine of Formulary is going to be first. What can the teammate of Zeto do in his first stand of qualifying 3? Heading to the KZO triangle, turn 17, turn 18, coming out of turn 18 across the finish line goes Formula E. And Formula E goes to a provisional pole with a 129.128. Is not for sure going to be enough. So let's see what the other drivers are going to set for lap time as we are waiting for Litz in the Kick Sauber. Goes to a provisional pole with a 128.481. Then Zeto didn't validate it. So did Formula Smokey. And then is waiting as Ali goes into the pits. Edveer across the line goes Edveer. Goes to a provisional pole with a 127.960. Great lap from Edveer there. Demir goes to P3 with a 129.081. There comes Alfie on a P2 with a 128.314. The man in orange, the man in the McLaren. Who is next? That's gonna be Formula Smokey, currently in sector 2. Going towards the spoon curve, turn 13 and turn 14. And we're getting a very long straight. Without the help of DRS. Into the KZO triangle, turn 16, 17 and 18. Coming out of turn 18 now, coming across the line goes Formula Smokey. Formula Smokey goes to provisional pole time with a 127.532. 4 tenths clear almost of Edveer. Adveer running low in fuel. Damir is still busy. No, he's not. You can see that the ERS system is deactivated. Still recharging the battery, so goes into the pit lane. Alfie totally missed the braking point there, so I think he will go in the pits. Yeah, he will. Cam McKenzie. Next person to start his hot lap on track. Into the Dunlap curve, into the Deckner curve. Turn 9. Ooh, touches a bit the curb there. Does not need to do that often because that will destabilize the car. Cam McKenzie. Sector 2, ending of Sector 2. Getting almost into Sector 3. What can he do? Purple Sector 2, so prepare yourself, this is gonna be a lap. Is he able to take provisional pole? I think it's gonna be close. Coming out of turn 18, coming across the line goes Cam McKenzie. Cam McKenzie goes to the P2 win on 127.604. I told you it's gonna be close. Formula Smokey, still the man. Still the man who is the fastest on track. Zatu waiting. FR77, here he comes. P10 goes to provisional pole, 127.470. The man in the Ferrari. Again, unexpected. Same long in qualifying too. Z2, now it's waiting on Z2. Still didn't put the lap time here in qualifying 3. Cam McKenzie, 9/10 above his lap time, so not gonna be this round. Will not have enough time to go into the pits for a fresh set of softs and go out again. So I hope he has enough fuel with him. Z2. I'm expecting him somewhere between P5 and P7, so let's see what Z2 can do. Again, into the spoon curve, P13, turn 13, turn 14. The long straights heading to turn 15. Battery running low. Most of the other drivers are going already for his out lap. Qualifying 3 is ending. Z2, what can you do? Z2 coming out of turn 18, across the line goes Z2. Z2 goes to P7, told you, between P5 and P7. 128.616 for the man in the Alpine. And there comes Formula Smokey, goes for hot lap now. So next one is Damir. No, out lap. So I believe Formula Smokey is doing his last shot. to become pole sitter here in Japan. Yellow flags, you see, people getting out of the way. Well done. Oh, goes into the gravel and goes into the wall. That's it for Formula Smokey. No provisional pole today here in Japan. Heading to other drivers. It's gonna be either Zeto. You was watching before. Damir. It's gonna be Damir who comes as first across the line here in the end of qualifying 3. Damir into the hairpin. Watch his sector times right on top of your screen. You will see the difference compared to his lap before. Is he able to improve? We are going soon to find out here when he enters sector 3. There it comes, yellow flags in sector 3. 7/10 below his lap time. That's a 1:28.3, so that's gonna put him between P5 and P6, depending how he is able to do the sector 3. So here he comes out of turn 18. Across the line goes Damir in the Aston Martin and goes to a P6 with a 1:28.435. Get a maximum out of that Aston Martin today? Yeah, I think so. Well done from Damir. So Alfie stays on P6. Adveer is improving. 2.5 tenths below his lap time. Maybe to P4. No, he is not able to. Formula E on P9. Goes to a P10. Will he improve? Oh, it was too late to even see what he has got. P6. Formula E to a P6. So it's the man in red, the man in Ferrari, who is on P1 today, FR77. The man from England. Then we got the man from Brazil, Litz and Kick Sauber on P2, Formula Smokey on P3, Cam McKenzie on P4, P5 Adveer and Red Bull, P6 Formula E. The man from Ireland, Alfie on P7 in the McLaren, Ali and the Aston Martin together with his teammate Damir on P8 and P9. Zetu, the man from Finland, on P10. As you know, we have a 5-minute break on the grid. Gives me some time to cover some drinks. So we'll be right back with you.
They train for months, they fight for glory, and only one will rise. One chance, one champion. Every lap is a battle. Every second a chance to rise. And in a split second, everything turns upside down. This is racing. This is MSC F1.
So as we are waiting for the drivers to prepare for formation lap, gives us some time to look at the standings after round 1. There they are. Regent currently on P1 on 31 points. Sponge in the Red Bull Visa Cash on P2 with 26 points. Schalk Bezuidenhout in the Mercedes on P3 with 22 points. Helenio on P4 and the Kick Sauber at 20 points. Genaudi on P5 with 15 points. No driving today. Good to mention. Gonna lose some points there today. NXM James in the McLaren on P6 for 12 points. Damir on P7 in the Aston Martin with 9 points. James Adams in the Alpine on P8 with 6 points. Johnny Bart on P9 with 5 points. Zetu in the Alpine on P10 with 4 points. Hasbras in the Hayes on P11 with 3 points. Zeo Sniper with 2 points on P12 in the Mercedes. And David Cinderfella on P13 with 1 point as we are kicking off with formation lap. I believe we had some changes in the grid. As you can see that the Kick Sauber is on P1 currently in the team standings. Never mind, we'll find out. So we're going to the formation lap. We'll remove the standings for you again. Let's have a proper view. So all eyes on FR77 and Litz. Starting from the front, whoa, then comes Formula Smokey on P3 and Ken McKenzie on P4. Hedvi on P5. And Formula E on P6. Followed by Alfie, Ali, Zamir, the two teammates. Also exciting to keep an eye on. And then Zetu on P10. Will Sponge on P11, Jake Delet on P12, Beaton on P13, Jabba on P14, NXM James on P15, Schalk on P16, Carlos Sainz on P17, MSC F1 Sanders on P18, QPVI on P19, and Tasman starts as last today. Our drivers will get the task from the pit crew to get maximum heat in those tires. To have the race start, the optimal race start. So first driver is seeing the grid already, coming out of turn 80 now. Championship picture could completely change after this race. As we are waiting for the last man forming up the grid, it's gonna be the green Kick Sauber from Tasman. So Tasman is reaching his grid spot. All cars now lined up on the grid, engines roaring, hearts pounding. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights. Ooh, we get a false start. We have a false start. We have a false start from the man in Alpine, but we're looking to the front to have our Formula Smokey. Let's losing a spot to Formula Smokey there. As we see yellow flags. In turn 1 before. Ooh, we saw Demir's fallen back. Ooh, that's going to be wrong. That's Formula E. Formula E back to the grid. And how's the question? Does he have wing damage or not? Yes, he's missing a wing end plate on the right side. Will affect his performance if he will not make a pit stop. Remember, in MSC we have no safety cars. So it's all about pace here tonight. So getting back to the front, Demir, what happened to Demir? Lost 5 spots, now 4, slowly crawling his way back up. The man in the red, the man in Ferrari. Getting some time up. 2P2 for Smokey now. 6 tenths. And you can see Adveer is already on 1.3. So the top 3 is loose from the rest. For how long? On board with FR77. On P1. Now it's all about tire management, ERS system management. Compared to the ones behind him. Formula on the same level of ERS, Litz is saving. That gives Litz later a bit of an advantage. And there's Beaton. Beaton reporting himself at the back of Ali Ali now on P8. Looking to the rear wing of Ali Ali now. Here he's going into the split stream. The 16, 17 and 18. Now it is it. What can he do? Here he comes, very close now. Jumps into the slipstream off Ali Ali, and here he goes on the right side next to each other, and there goes Beaton. Beaton up to P8. Makes it look easy here in Japan. She top 3 is still fighting for the P1 spot. Formula Smokey still very close. Make 310s good again this lap. As we're heading for a short moment back to Beaton. Beaton has some pace today in those mediums. Reporting himself now at the back of Jake Delat. Cam McKenzie, leader of the second pack. Of Adveer, well sponged Jake Delat and Beaton. Let's go with the fastest lap time now at a 1:31.7. Heading back to the front. Formula and Smokey, still Formula Smokey and Litz. Still looking the same as last lap. As we see changes in the backfield. Ali Ali goes for a new wing. Ooh, big slide from Zatu there in turn 1. Alfie and Jabba fighting for track positions. Look how close this is. And Jabba takes him. Jabba up to P10. I would say, Alfie, you would need to brake there, otherwise it would force yourself in a collision. But well done from Jabba. as the leaders are entering lap 5, round 5 of 27. There's still going some action on track as we missed that Formula Smokey catch P1 FR77. With the help of DRS on the straights, heading to turn 1. He's making his attempt on FR77 successfully. Another job for FR77 on P2 to stay with him. Because if he will get out of that DRS range, it's gonna be a problem for the Ferraris. Alfie and Jabba again. Here we go, Alfie. So we expected a lot in the beginning of this race from the Aston Martins. P8, P9 if I'm correct. Now Ali Ali is on a P19 and Demir is back up to P12. So not a good start of the Suzuka Grand Prix for the Aston Martins. But we are still on board with Alfie and Jabba. Jabba is still in the US range and the man in front of him on Schalke. But Alfie is very close and he's not coming underneath it. Here comes Alfie. Alfie next to Jabba. And making it look easy. Again on the straight. Gonna see a lot of action here today on the straight with help of DRS. So Formula Smokey now on P2, 1 place up, Litz 1 place down, Antveer 1 place up, Beaton 8 places up. The 2 Red Bull drivers on P4 and P5 currently. And look how close they are racing here. And now is the question, will there be team orders or not? Will they let him race free? Or will the man behind Antveer now this Beaton have bigger pace? And Antveer needs to let him go. Looks like that, but Loose has some traction on Antveer. Yeah, it's low on battery. The US open. No, not enough. Formula Smokey. Lost the place to 5R again. You can see a lot of switches between those gentlemen on the straights today. I'm going to show you that. So Alfie on P10. Thinking for a moment he was going to report himself at the back of Schalke, but not coming any closer. Formula Smokey. As you can see again on the straights, here he's coming. Formula Smokey. The inside is forever. And Formula Smokey back up to P1. This that gets a 3-second time penalty for Alfie. Will definitely not be happy with that. As you know, the time penalties will come at the end of the line. Counted up of your end time. You see some changes here in the midfield. Jabba Damir. Schalk is round. And Schalk is round in round 8 of 27 in the MSC F1 Fanatec Clubsport series. And again on the grass, hits the wall. And also holds up the other drivers in the backfield. Oh. I hope that was a mistake, because that's definitely not what we wanted to see here in MSC. So back to Demir. Back up to P10. Still a good performance for the Aston Martin driver. One place down compared to where he started this Grand Prix. And Alfie with his 3-second time penalty is still up in front of him. There he goes into the pit lane, goes well pushed and beaten. The first drivers on the grid going for fresh sets of hearts. Is that for Beaton the same? Beaton going to, did not see that correctly, where he's going to. He's going to Hearts. Must be Hearts. Yes, he's going to Hearts. Beaton and Wells Punch. So now we are going to see the undercut on Advir. We'll decide Advir to go out, to stay out, or will he come in now after this lap? So remember, if Advir goes into the pits to this lap, keep an eye on Beaton. Is he going into the pit lane? Yes, he does. Here comes the undercut. The undercut between the two Red Bull drivers. Beaton, where are you, man? Did he win some time back in his outlap? Or will Advir stay up in front? Beaton is coming around the corner. Onto straight towards turn 1. No, he will make it look easy. Here he comes. We're still very close. But Beaton is up in front of Advir. Well done. That's also a way of getting some places by placing the perfect undercut. Now it's hoping on Advir. Think he can catch up to Wells Punch. And then Wells Punch, the Red Bull Visa Cash driver, sister team of Red Bull, will be squeezed by the two Red Bulls on track. You can see the top 3 is still the same. Formula Smokey once again on the straights, also coming both into the pits. So here comes Litz. Litz will continue. Position changes from the man in front. That's coming because two drivers are in the pits. Cam McKenzie as well. There comes his teammate Jabba. So Advir back behind that rear wing of his teammate. Hoping that they can make his way up to the front of the field. Lucas at the mirror, ladies and gentlemen. P4 currently. Did not make a stop yet. So didn't Alfie and so didn't Litz. So is Litz still able to take something out of those mediums compared to FR and Formula Smokey? I don't think so. Already in round 11. Goes into the pit lane. Here goes Litz. So now is waiting on FR 77. The man in red, the man in the Ferrari. Set the purple sector 2 there. On those fresh sets of hearts. Coming out of turn 18. And it's coming out of the pit lane. And there he goes. Still behind Formula Smokey. Here will be, no, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close between Formula Smokey and Litz. Litz, of course, with a fresh set of hearts now under his ass, will not have the temperatures in those tires. Or at least shouldn't have. To drive the pace that Formula Smokey now has in those 1 laps old hearts. But he's looking to come away with it. So before he was watching FR77, Formula Smokey fighting. Now because of that perfect undercut of the both of them, he dropped back Formula Smokey to provisional P3. No, Litz will never hold this. Litz will never hold it. Formula Smokey is already too close. DRS will go open now and Litz will lose his spot. So then it's gonna be seeing. Ooh, little twist on the rears there from Formula Smokey. Traction mistake. Ooh, burning down that battery. Switching to one side, that is illegal, that is allowed. To break that slipstream on Formula Smokey. Still fighting each other, well done from the pair of them. He's seeing Jabba and Anik James. Jabba, Anik James coming into the pit lane now. Jabba went already into the pit lane. Currently on a P12. So back to Formula Smokey. Formula Smokey and Litz. Let me remove the menu for you. It's a little bit better. Look how close he is coming to the rear wing. Perfect, taking this corner from the gentleman. Coming closer now into turn 16, 17 and 18. Ooh, bit log up, you hear it there on the wheel spin. On the front tires. But better than the lap before, so what can he do now? 40% of ERS in the system. One time change again from Litz. There he goes, the inside. Ooh, that's a tricky one on that top speed. As I said, there's contact. There was contact between the pair of them, and Formula Smokey goes up to a P3. Litz back to P4. Ooh, and Litz will not be happy. He is out of the DRS range now. But we got lucky that Formula Smokey has still a driver up in front of him, which didn't go to the pits yet, and that's Alfie. And because of the traffic up in front of him, Litz can come closer and is back in the DRS range again. Demir closing into Beaton. Ooh, did not go into the pits yet, so not sure if he has the grip still to catch up. So now get Beaton and Demir both in the DRS. Oh, Demir going into the pits. Demir is going into the pits and will go for fresh sets of mediums. So Alfie let them pass. FR77. Is gonna race lonely up in front the rest of the 25% of this race yet still. Litz again out of the US range. So now we will see that Formula Smokey is slowly crawling away from Litz. So we will go to the midfield a bit back. Well Sponge. Looking at that rear wing of Beaton. Jake Delat looking at that rear wing of Adveer. 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings for NMX James in the McLaren. The two Red Bulls doing an outstanding job today, but now it is fighting for track position. Carlos Sainz 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Carlos Sainz currently last, so will not do much harm at the end of this Grand Prix. Now it's waiting on Jake Delat to make an attempt, as we were totally missing Well Sponge and Beaton. Well Sponge up to P5. Takes that spot away from Beaton. Both Red Bull drivers now on a P6 and P7. Here comes Beaton. Beaton very close now to Well Sponge. Will wait for an attempt if he's smart to do it on the straight with the help of DRS. Because if he will make an attempt now and he will catch Well Sponge will for sure come back on the straight. Again, as Tasman gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So you see now that a lot of drivers getting the track limits warning. And they will say that they had already 3 track times warnings. And then you get a 3-second time penalty. Ooh, Carlos Sainz 10-second driving too hard in the pit lane. And that's race over for Carlos Sainz. So Beaton catch that spot again from Well Sponge. Now Adveer should catch up a bit to put some pressure on Well Sponge, push him in a mistake. We know Adveer is capable of many things here in MSC. We saw a lot of great things from him in MSC F1. So I'm pretty sure he's capable. And doing so as Formula E gets also 10-second driving too hard in the pit lane. These seconds are costing the drivers a lot. Can Adveer come closer? Can Beaton hold up Wells Point for Adveer? It's about to fold out here in round 18 of 27. Round 2 of MSC F1 Fanatec Clubsport Series in Japan. Here he comes, Wells Point again on the straight. Adveer Beaton, I would say, has still DRS from the man in front of him, which is going to the pits. Wells Point takes that P4 again away from Beaton. So that these two gentlemen are fighting on track. Can be an advantage of Adveer later this race. In terms of tire degradation. So if we got some more exciting on track, we got Cam McKenzie reporting himself now behind Jake Delat. So it's gonna be a nice fight between the 5 gentlemen from P8. 2 P4, 4 P4. Jabba, 3-second time penalty. Currently on P11. 7.6 behind Amir. Not gonna do him much harm. So we're getting now a nice DRS game round after round between Wells Point and Beaton. You can see that Adveer now catch up to 1.3, was before 1.8. So you can see that the fight between those two gentlemen is getting already towards him. It will all pay out later, as I told you. Cam McKenzie, Jake Delat. Ooh, fighting for track position. Jake Delat back to P8, Cam McKenzie up to P7, well done. Ooh, you hear the lockups from Wells Point. Jake Delat and Cam McKenzie once again. Cam McKenzie back to P8, Jake Delat to P7. Wonder what there happened. Small mistake from Cam McKenzie, I think so. Beaton and Wells Point. Okay, look at that. Adveer is in DRS range. Look at that. Smokey the Goon, Formula Smokey. At the back of Litz now, DRS is going open, there he goes. Into turn 1 and takes P2 from Litz. Back to Beaton. Oop, there he goes, Wells Point up to P4 once again on the straights with the help of DRS. So we did a fast calculation. If Beaton will keep passing together with Wells Point on the straights, then in lap 27, going into lap 27, Beaton is behind Wells Point. Ooh, touch the grass there. Look at that veer. Adveer thinks I want to get also a taste of this. The ultimate battle today here in round 2. Let's still at the back of Formula Smokey. Help of DRS now. That rear wing goes open. There's still a lot of DRS in his system. There he goes. Towards turn 1. Takes the outside line. Switch back to the inside line. Oh no. needs to wait for another lap. Back to Beaton and well sponge. Valuable points for the Constructors' Championship today for the two Red Bulls. Jake Delat and Adveer. Oh, Jake Delat. Jake Delat passes Adveer. Too late, switching back to see what happened there. But the two Red Bulls are split by Williams driver Jake Delat. And can make Jake Delat as well the hunt to the other Red Bull driver. You can see Beaton now 3/10 behind. Well Sponge will go take that spot back again. P4 on the straights here. Coming out of turn 18. Coming out of turn 18 towards turn 1. Not gonna be enough for Beaton. So there's gonna be an exciting last 5 laps here in the Suzuka Grand Prix. Beaton, Jake Delat, Adveer, Cam McKenzie, all fighting for that P5 spot, and Litz is still in the game for that P2 spot. Let's charge a lot of battery. So does Formula Smokey, so Z2, the Alpine driver on P20, DNF today, Ali, teammate of Demir in the Aston Martin on P19, DNF'd, and Carlos Sainz in the Red Bull Visa Cash. Teammates of Will Sponge DNF. Ooh, look how close the fight is gonna be. Beaton and Will Sponge. Cam McKenzie. Oh, Cam McKenzie is out. Let's on P2, Formula Smokey now on P3. Last 4 laps are counting. What can Beaton do? What can Adveer do? And what can Jake Delat do? Not much action on the track anymore. Beaton now, 3.5 tenths. Sorry, that was Jake Delat. Ooh, Jake Delat is closing in. Oh, Beaton is gonna have company in the straights now. Needs to get a better exit here now in this turn. He does. This is gonna be close. The DRS is on. The DRS is open. You can see, ooh, this is gonna be close. Jake Delat, Beaton, both on well sponge. And they will continue like this for another lap. Beaten very close though. Driving ready from quite some time behind that car of Wells Sponge. Wonder how much that affects his tires in those dirty air. Let's and Formula Smokey, Let's is looking. Let's is looking and sending a message to the mirrors of Formula Smokey. I'm coming. There he comes. Full power on the electric system. Does he make it? No, he does not. Out of turn 1 and needs to go for another round. Beaten. Well, Sponge is saving, you can see. And we are still also very close. We see what is. You see a Mercedes from, I think, Schalke, that is 1 lap behind, ghosting to the field, causing Advir to lose up some pace. Let's get the 3-second time penalty. Oh, and that's game over for Litz. That's game over for Litz if Formula Smokey will not make another mistake. So let's say he will not. That has taken the chances from Litz away today in this Grand Prix. But if it will stay like this, still a very good result from Litz, the man in the green. In the kick Sauber, back to Beaten. Four gentlemen still fighting. Do apologize, 3. Jake the lad, Beaten. You can see that they are very carefully on the ERS, keeping it perhaps for the last round. Last 2 laps are counting. And Nick James and Jabba. Coming out of turn 18, battery goes open, DRS goes open. There he comes. Takes the inside line, no, covers by Jabba. Inside line covered by Jabba, still covered by Jabba. Look at this, very close racing here in lap 27. And well done from NMX James. Moving the camera back to the battle for P5, P4. Beaten, can you get a better exit here? No, it's not able to. And that's it. Oh, I do apologize. Oh, look at this, look at this. On the outside. Little bit of wheel banging there. But still on track. Here comes Beaten, Beaten. Ooh! What is Wells Sponge doing here? No way that Beaten could take a side there. Is Beaton still able to do something? You can see that Wellsponge is clearly struggling. We still see some action in the back of the field, but we're staying with Beaton for now. As the man in red has finished the race. On a P1, Formula Smokey on P2, Litz on P3. Back to Beaton. Better exit, yes, no, no. Beaton will not make it and goes for P5. Jake the Lad for P6. And Advert teammate of Beaton lose one spot. And it's pushed back to P7 by Jake the Lad. Alfie finished on P8. Great performance from Alfie. So is for Damir. Finished on a solid P9. His starting position of today. Loses with that no positions during this Grand Prix. So still a nice comeback from Damir. And MX James, teammate of Alfie on P10. Still needs to finish the race together with Formula E, Jabba, could be VI. As Jabba gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And there they go, the last drivers coming across the finish line. Waiting on QBVI to end the session. And there we go. And that's it for today. MC F1 round 2 has ended. And it is the man in red who takes the lead today. Solid performance from F7. A lot of fighting together. A lot of fighting together with Formula Smokey, the man in Williams, in the first half of this Grand Prix, but after that the man was driving lonely up in front. So really solid race from the Englishman. Formula Smokey on P2, Let's on P3, Wellsponge on P4, Beaton on P5, Jake the Lad on P6, Adver teammate of Beaton on P7, Alfie on P8, P9 Demir, P10 NMX James, QBVI on P11, Jabba 80 on P12, TTV Formula E on P13, on P14 MSC F1 Cinders, Schalke on P15, P16 Tasman, P17 Kamikaze, P18 Carlos Sainz, P19 Ale and P20 Z2. And with that, round 2 has ended. We will be back one more time this week for racing on Thursday with a no assist series. After that, we will be back next week for a fully packed week of racing, 2 times GTR and 2 times MSC F1. I wish you all guys a nice evening, and for the ones that need to work tomorrow and need to go to bed earlier, a good night.
Pushing a new pen, rewriting the story. Hello to my old ways, goodbye to the nosebleeds. You fighting to stay here, you part of the OD. Ain't finna pop for no reason. I don't throw shots, I run legions. I've been going over the top with no queen, been die with no regrets. This is my season, it's the bow trigger. Gift that keep giving, nothing to wrap up. I ripped a new ribbon, they wanted to catch up. Wanted my good riddance, you saw me a rock bottom. You wanted a new winner, I paved the way for 'em. Take the pain, double it, put it in way form. Safe to say, trouble ain't what you was made for. Keeping a ring on, I told them all game on. The